Hello, Science Rebels. Today we are going to be talking about photosynthesis. So I want to look at this. It says photosynthesis, big ideas. So what is the big idea behind photosynthesis? Well, by showing you this slide, this is like telling you the ending to a movie before you get to the end. But I think it's great because this way you'll understand what is so important about photosynthesis. So we can see that the sun is passing something on to the producer, which are plants. And plants pass that on to the grasshopper as the primary consumer. So the grasshopper eats the plant and gets energy. Then the mouse eats the grasshopper and passes on its energy to the snake. When the snake gets eaten by the hawk, it takes its energy. And all the energy that the hawk ultimately gets, it's because of animals that it's eaten that ultimately ate the producer. So we can see here, as the title says on top, all energy on Earth starts or originates from the sun. So that the energy that the plants on our Earth get, they get because they get it from our sun. And ultimately, you can see it feeds every animal on our planet. And then at the end, everybody dies and gets decomposed, and that energy gets put back into the producers. When plants and animals die, they become like fertilizer. So it goes back to nourish the producers again. So that energy, this is the circle of life. The energy gets moved on, starts from the sun, moves through the food chain, and ultimately feeds the producer again. So let's take a look at this. So we're going to start by writing the definition of photosynthesis. And the TEAC for photosynthesis. And the state of Texas wants you to know that you should recognize that radiant energy from the sun is transformed into chemical energy through the process we call photosynthesis. So I've embedded a couple of movies for you to watch.
The NBA Finals are here. Stream the action live with YouTube TV.
Photosynthesis. Let's learn about photosynthesis. Plants make their food with the help of many things. Plants get their raw material for photosynthesis from the soil, the air, and the sun. Oh, look! It started raining. When it rains, water gets absorbed into the soil. The plants take in the water from the soil through its roots. In the roots, there are tubes, which are called the xylem and the phloem. The xylem lies towards the interior part of the root, whereas the phloem lies towards the exterior part of the root. These tubes help in bringing water and minerals from the soil to its leaves. Leaves breathe in carbon dioxide from tiny pores, which are called stomata, which are on the underside of the leaf. The stomatas are like the windows in the room for plants because it allows air to get in. And here comes the sun, one more important factor for photosynthesis. So, now we know plants need 3 things for photosynthesis: carbon dioxide, water, and sunlight. Now the process will start.
And I'm going to stop right there. And you will continue watching the rest of that movie. But that's just a good introduction to what's going to be included and what we're going to talk about when we talk about photosynthesis. So let's break down what that word means. Photo means light. A lot of people might think photo means picture, as in a photograph. But actually the word graph means picture. It means a picture made with light. In this case, we're looking at the rest of the word. Synthesis means to make. So when you put those two together, photosynthesis is to make, and what we're making here is sugar or something we call glucose using light. So the plant is using light to make its own food. Two other vocabulary words you're going to add to your list here. One is radiant energy, or what you might have called solar energy in 6th grade. That's the energy that comes from the sun. The word transform, you also had that in 6th grade. It means to change. Autotrophs are organisms, and here on Earth, it is only plants that make their own food, sugar, glucose. All those three words mean the same thing. And you may hear me say food sometimes, sugar sometimes, or glucose. They all make the same things. But autotrophs are organisms that make their own food. They don't have to eat other organisms like we do. A lettuce is an organism. Chicken is an organism. We need to eat other organisms who live. Autotrophs do not. Glucose. Glucose is, it says, a chemical energy made by plants. Humans cannot make glucose. But the plants make it to feed themselves. And then when they make it, they store it. They put it somewhere. They put it in the leaves or blades of grass, the fruits, the vegetables. That is all food that the plant made for itself to be able to use later. Except, of course, animals found out, delicious, and we get energy. And now we pilfer, we rob from the plants to feed ourselves. A stomata or stomata, depending who says it, are little openings or pores that plants have, and they're usually found underneath the leaf. So just like if you look really closely into your skin, you can see these tiny little holes you have where like sweat comes out of or heat may come out of. Plants have these little pores as well, and we're going to see that there's certain gases that are able to go inside the plant through those openings. Chloroplast. We spoke about chloroplast when we learned about organelles, and we said it's a green colored organelle, and again, only plants have them because this is where photosynthesis happens. If people were able to sit out in the sun and make their own food, no one on our planet would starve. No one would be hungry because they could just go outside and get sunlight and make their food. But we cannot. Plants can. And the last word is another familiar word, mitochondria. Now that organelle we do find in plant and in animal cells. And this is where ultimately the food you eat is broken down, taken to your cells, and then taken to the mitochondria in your cells and in the mitochondria of plants. And the glucose is busted apart, and then it is made into energy for your cells. So again, only plants make the energy, but both plants and animals use the energy. So we're going to be drawing this, and that first page that says photosynthesis, you should number page 16. This next page is 17, and we are going to be drawing this plant and some brown soil there, roots, a little bit of water that we'll be talking about. So you need to draw this into your notebook. And then you're going to add these three things. If I asked any second grader, what three things do plants need to live? They could tell me. They need sunlight or energy from the sun. They need water, which gets absorbed through the roots. And they need carbon dioxide, which goes inside the plant in those little pores we talked about. So to remind you, when you breathe in oxygen, you breathe out carbon dioxide. And the plants love you for it because that's what they need to survive. And not only humans, but remember any animal, a praying mantis or a spider, a zebra, a sloth, an oak tree, a pine tree, they all, let me take that back. I spoke erroneously. Not the tree, not the oak tree or the pine tree, but every animal on our planet breathes in oxygen and breathes out carbon dioxide, which the plants appreciate. So please, in your page 17 of your notebook, draw this plant. Notice that it's kind of more in the middle. You're going to be doing some more writing on the right-hand side of this page, so you want to leave that free. And go ahead and draw your energy source, the sun, the carbon dioxide being absorbed through the leaf, and then the water being absorbed through the soil by the roots. One thing that we also have to learn in this unit is using the shorthand for carbon dioxide and water. So you probably know water already, H2O, but you may not know, you may not know carbon dioxide, CO2. And it's important to learn that because we're going to be writing it in the form of an equation, probably starting tomorrow. So please copy the vocabulary and the teaks on page 16 into your notebook. And then on page 17, go ahead and draw this plant showing energy from the sun, the CO2 from the air going into the plant, and water coming in through the roots. So far, everything we're seeing is, you'll notice, is arrows going into the plant. This video that I've attached up here to the top is actually a really, really cool video. The graphics are really cool. And I'll show you a little bit, but you can watch the rest.
This component of the atmosphere, while glucose or food is transported to all parts of the plant and used for growth. To summarize, green plants can make their own food by the process of photosynthesis. Plants are held in the soil with the help of roots. These roots absorb water and send it to the leaf.
So that's just a little sample of the this last video that I've attached, and I want you to watch it through the whole thing. And so that is the end of our Monday notes, and we will continue on Tuesday. You do have a discussion question that you need to go back into Schoology and answer. Thank you and have a great day.